Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The following show contains deep and far jokes that may be offensive to both the living and undead. Your discretion is advised.
Biatch.
Woke up in the sanitarium. In the ring, I feel like Leatherface. Run up, then I bury you. They know the vibes when I'm coming through. They told you lies, but we know the truth. Vibes, gotta let it loose. Yeah, I'm gone, I can't feel my face. Gone, you won't see my face. Gone, feel like Leatherface. Gone, feel like Leatherface. Sanitarium. Better get up, sick, make him spit up. Witch, cough his ribs up. Bitch, bathe in his blood. Better get up, sick, make him spit up. Witch, cough his ribs up. Bathe in his blood. Woke up in the sanitarium. In the ring, I feel like Leatherface.
Is your host.
Let the chaos be in.
Leatherface.
Welcome
Let
to
the
the
chaos
Sanitarium
begin.
live here, Saturday night, October the 7th, 9 p.m. live from Roxborough, North Carolina. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Guess what? Coming to Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, all sorts of stuff. The Off the Hook Network, the Sanitarium, Purple Sticky, Daniel Diva, Paul Dale Roberts, and Tim Shorts in the UFO show. All sorts of good stuff coming. It's going to be fun. Let me go ahead and get my partner in crime. Here's El Guapo. You get a nice little applause every time, huh?
I do. Must have some fans out there.
Hey, I'm glad you decided to turn your microphone on this time.
Sorry about that last time. Anyways,
I have to keep giving you crap for that because that was funny. You wouldn't have hesitated to get me on something, so.
Oh, it absolutely. So we're gonna call the new show Black Hat, White Hat, or what?
Good guy, bad guy.
Good
I don't know.
guy.
I got to take on one of the Three Amigos names, and we can start a little trend going here.
We should do an episode on that.
Oh yeah. Well, as per the Wheel of Doom last week, the subject tonight is cannibalism. We got some stuff prepared for you guys tonight on that. We also have an urban legend on tonight, Mr. David Knight from the Real David Knight Show. Some other places he worked at before. We'll get into those later. I don't want to talk about them too much because they're not that important no more. Right, Phil?
Absolutely.
Mr. Paul Revere?
Well, I'm trying to behave myself tonight out of respect for our esteemed guest. Otherwise, I'd be throwing the dirty jokes out there right now. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you probably missed the opportunity for at least 4.
I've been waiting. I've been like ordering these things all week.
I'm sure David will let us have a little bit of fun. We just won't go overboard with it, but I'm sure we can have a little bit of fun.
I don't know. This one was pretty bad.
Last week was pretty cool. I was making Mr. Knight the urban legend, our urban legend guest for the night. But I'm glad he showed up tonight. It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
But so anything else going on we want to talk about besides we're coming to Roku? Anything else?
I'm excited about that. Hopefully, widen the audience a bit. This way, everybody can watch it on their TV set instead of just their phones.
We get to watch the real deal right on your big TV. And everybody has Roku now.
Yeah, or Fire Stick. Either way.
Or Fire Stick or Chromecast. I think we're just starting off the Roku and Amazon Fire just for starters. Apparently, I had to help become a developer in less than a week. Had to learn JavaScript and coding and everything in a week to kind of help get the thing moving along. But it's looking great.
Yeah, great job, brother. I like the format.
Thanks a bunch. Well, we'll go ahead and get into our quick little break with our favorite little commercial, and we'll be back to introduce Mr. Knight. So here we go. Enjoy.
Roll that fudge footage.
We'll be back after this commercial, so don't be sad, oh, you get it back.
Fudge comes from Uranus.
Uranus, Missouri.
That felt good.
Tastes even better.
Wow. Deep in the crack of America's heartland, the citizens of Uranus are bursting to give you their amazing fudge. That's right, fudge from Uranus. I'm not fudging with you. We're literally in Uranus. That's the mayor of Uranus, and you can get your fudge out the back door at UranusGeneralStore.com.
And we're not fudging with you. I'm as serious as a fudging horse kick to the side of your fudging head.
I am as serious as forgetting your fudging anniversary.
I'm serious as skid marks on your fudging undies.
I'm serious as fudging a pregnancy test. I'm serious as fudging the presidential election.
I'm serious as fudging the bar exam.
Uranus squeezes out so many different fudges that they have a fudge for everyone. They got blueberry fudge, chocolate fudge, vanilla fudge, chocolate pecan fudge, mint chocolate fudge, cookies and cream fudge, peanut butter fudge, M&M fudge, toffee bar fudge. There's a fudge for everyone. Right now I'm making the mayor's #2 favorite flavor of fudge. You can try some at UranusGeneralStore.com. Click now.
That is some yummy fudge from Uranus.
The best fudge does come from Uranus, Mr. Mayor. That's my dad. Go to UranusGeneralStore.com and order the best fudge and fudge this side of the Mississippi. And the other fudge inside, too. We can't contain it anymore. Uranus is about to explode across your screen and your front door.
Ooh, fudge!
Quit prairie dogging and order the best fudging fudge ever. Hey, Mr. Prairie Dog. So if digging for fudge in Uranus isn't your thing, then bring your fingers over here. Uranus offers a lot more than fudge. They got fudging magnets. They got fudging hats and the hottest fudging calendars of Uranus you've ever fudging seen. Ooh, that's cool. But if you ask me what the best part about Uranus is, other than the fudge in Uranus, it's the fudging shirts. Fudge not, lest ye be fudged first. Fudge, 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 fudge. Want to see more of Uranus? Come see the amazing attractions like
The Moonicorn Creamery and Funnel Cakery.
Fudge It Great.
Escape Uranus Escape Rooms.
Fudgerific.
Uranus Sideshow Museum.
Hot Fudge.
Chicken Bones Party Bar and Grill.
Fudge, yeah. So quit fudging around. How many more times do I need to say fudge to get you to order some fudge and fudge? Seriously, Uranus can't hold this fudge forever, so you might as well order some fudge today, for fudge sakes. Go to UranusGeneralStore.com and order your fudge today. Or come down here and drop some deuces yourself. Peace.
Welcome to Uranus! Let's make Uranus great again.
Fudge, yeah. Fudge, 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 fudge. Fudge.
I swear if I hear someone say fudge one more
Yeah,
time,
we heard that last week.
that's exactly what is getting
And I
ghost
remain
back tonight when
untouched
you're sleeping.
by a ghost at nighttime. So what's going on, Phil?
Not much, brother. Just looking forward to bringing our guest on.
Oh yeah. Well, after our favorite little commercial here, let's go ahead and do a little clip introducing our buddy here, David Knight. And here we go.
Isn't it interesting what the government is selling after all these years of telling us that it's not true? And we still have some people in the government who are saying that it's not true, but we have hearings that are being done in Congress. They love to hold hearings. They love to be on television, but they don't do anything else, right? This is really, it's all dog and pony stuff. And so you had everybody, part of it is to get headlines and to get their picture on the news and to say, crazy stuff. News Nation, this is the leftist news organization that interviewed and attacked RFK Jr. over vaccines and a lot of other stuff. They said following Wednesdays, that's last Wednesdays, not yesterday, widely watched congressional hearings on UAPs and UFOs. And as I said before, why are they calling them UAPs now instead of UFOs? Instead of unidentified flying objects, they're unidentified aerial phenomena. And of course, part of this hearing was the nonsense about the Chinese spy balloon. That should tell you how non-serious these people are. It should tell you how fake they are. It's coming from the intelligence agencies who tried to raise the alarm and use the spy balloon to distract you from Biden and all the rest of the stuff. And of course, the timing was perfect for this as well.
Introducing the man, the myth, the legend. Welcome, David Knight, to the
Knight, how are
Sanitarium.
you?
You may begin.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's very kind of you to have me on. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
It has. It has.
Yeah, man, if I told you I moved to North Carolina 3 years ago. Finally got out of the California hell.
That's a good move. Yeah, we lived in North Carolina for about 30 years. I loved it there.
Are you still
We're now
Texas,
in Tennessee. So,
oh, you're in Tennessee.
Yeah, yeah. Like the climate, we used to always come to Tennessee. The Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area used to always come here for vacations, and so it's like, oh, let's just see if we can live
I've heard
there.
so much. I've heard so much about that. My favorite moonshine distillery is there, the Sugarlands.
That's a big thing now. It used to not be that, but they started having moonshine distilleries a few years ago, and so now it's really taken off. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's because of the show. I mean, the show's pretty awesome. I'm buddies with a couple of those guys, and they were kind of an inspiration to help give me some inspiration to move back here. Just all the beautiful places they were at, just seeing the country and seeing the life, and I was like, I want to go check that out. I had to get out of California. It was just a shithole. It was going crazy.
Oh yeah, good.
So speaking of the California and the shithole, I met Mr. Knight here. Is when me and El Guapo covered some. I think it was radioactive waste from paint from planes on McClellan Air Force Base, and they had all the radioactive dirt all out in the open with a fence around it with some signs saying radioactive. And it's all windy. You can see the dust going everywhere. Huge cancer rates there in North Highlands and Sacramento County there. But that's when we first met. I forget what year that was. That was definitely, 2015, I think, 14?
Might have been earlier than that.
Earlier than that? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So nothing much changes in terms of the government not really caring about what they've exposed people to, right?
That's the truth.
No, not at all. They expose us to constant bullshit. That's what they expose us to.
If there's any doubt, we've put that to bed now the last 3 years or so.
I think the level of ignorance kind of changed a little bit. Like before, like in the 50s and 60s, they really didn't know any better, I think, a lot of times. From maybe the 70s, 80s on, they knew, and then they just didn't care. Or maybe they never cared. But I definitely think there was a time when they honestly didn't know. They said at McClellan there that the planes that dropped the atomic bomb had actually come back there afterwards. And they had, I think our friends said that we talked to some old veterans, and they said they had them hosed down. They had literally like hoses of water running on these things for like a week straight, hosing off the radioactivity, and it just running right into the ground right there.
Right into the canals, and the whole area is nothing but old school canals.
Well, they didn't know, but they didn't care at the same time, right? It's the same type of thing that we see when they're talking about drugs or vaccines or anything. I mean, it's just like, well, let's go ahead and do it and see what happens later. We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, heart attacks and strokes, and it's nothing.
That's still their MO. They really they're not going to do the tests for safety first for anything. 5G, you name it. They don't care about safety. They just roll this thing out. We got to do it, and
we got to steal the elections again. We got to cause chaos. It's a shit show. That's why I kind of went towards the paranormal and went towards the oddity shows, and I'm still into the politics a little bit. I mean, you have to know what's going on in the world. If you don't watch a couple different things and take all of it in and get rid of the misinformation, and it's a show.
I really wish we would have had Dave on for the UFO episode we did, only because that whole thing about UAPs now, that still drives me nuts. Why does everything these days have to be relabeled? They act as if it didn't exist in the past, and it's not just the government that does it. It's I watched some documentary about these idiots that started a cult online, calling themselves Twin Flames, and it's basically another term for soulmate. Finding your soulmate. Only now the new cool way to say it is, oh, your twin flame. Amazon did the same shit with IT. They haven't invented anything. All they've done is relabeled the entire standard. Like it didn't exist in the past. I really can't.
Well, they're trying to put that word phenomenon in there so they can give it a discredited word. Oh, it's just a phenomenon. It's not a UFO. It's a phenomenon. You
Well,
guys,
you
you guys know
UFO.
what it is. It's been here. They've been here for thousands of years. Let's just stop
Yeah.
playing like we don't know they're here already.
That's right. Well, I think it's also that they want you to, people have joked a lot about UFOs, and they don't want anybody joking about this. They want you to take this seriously now. I think that's one of the key reasons that they relabeled it. Of course, they're always relabeling things because they usually don't want you to see what they've done in the past. So, pay no attention to what we've done before. This is different, even if it's the same thing. But I think that, they want to get away from that stigma. There's been a lot of, everybody jokes about it whenever you put a UFO out there. A statement, everybody jokes about it. So they come up with some completely new label so you can take it perfectly seriously.
That's just reminds me of Coca-Cola. It's classic Coke, but it's still Coke. It's just
change the name of it and put some more movies out and call it by that name, and you've changed everything. I mean, it's true. The easiest way to hide what they're doing is they just put it into a movie and then you laugh about it. So if you're bringing up, hey, I saw a UFO, you saw some movies, it discredits everything. It's
they're very careful about the way they label things, aren't they? Like AP, not to get too deep into politics here, but, AP has got terms that you can use and terms that you can't use for just about everything, especially in politics. And so everything's got an approved term and an unapproved term. And if you want to get your story passed around by the AP, you will use their terms.
Their pronouns and their imagination and their mental illness. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, even to the extent, well, you don't say illegal alien, unless I guess it's a UAP. But, you don't say illegal alien. You have to say undocumented migrant or something like that. Same thing with abortion. There is no pro-life. There is anti-abortion rights. So they have very specific labels that they want to use for things. And so, when they say UAP, they're doing that for a real reason.
Oh, yeah.
Is that just another side effect of the whole woke kind of movement?
That's more subterfuge.
Coming from another, I mean, I don't want to take away from the terminology you're talking about. How about, is there a new term for cannibalism, since this is supposed to be our topic tonight?
I'm sure he'll find one. Give him a minute.
Are we cannibalizing our own society by literally having to relabel everything? And now, I mean, literally take even humor is being banned. Stand-up comedians don't want to do colleges anymore. Everybody's afraid what they say. It seems like, the world has lost its sense of humor.
Well, since all the late night show comedians and everything have gone into politics so heavily, I decided I'd inject some humor as much as I could into politics I do.
That's what makes it palatable. That's how you get it across.
Yeah, that's right.
With humor.
Yeah. You make people laugh a little bit, and they take in the information a little better because it was something funny. And laughter, I'm Patch Adams, but laughter goes a long ways.
Well, it is amazing when you go back and you look at, look at old clips of Johnny Carson or even Jay Leno, or even old clips of David Letterman. They were not political at all. They would make fun of politicians on both sides, and it was never, they would always very careful to make sure they didn't pick sides on that stuff. So, that's changed quite a bit now. They've kind of become court jesters.
Oh, yeah. And the courts are definitely becoming a joke. And I mean, to me, a journalist is a journalist. I mean, whether you work for the dinosaur media or wherever you work for, you're a journalist. And just seeing what's happened to Owen Schroyer, for example, what happened to Joe Biggs for having his foot underneath the gate a little bit. But they still want to play dumb, like there wasn't no feds there, and there wasn't, this whole thing was put on by Pelosi. Everybody knows that it came out, but yeah, they still want to play like, oh, this insurrection isn't. People don't come in with cameras and flags. Look at an insurrection happens in any other country. It's not like that.
And Sam Menendez, who was a cameraman at Infowars, you're talking about Owen. Sam went inside, but the pictures show him he's walking around. He's got a camera. He's got a camera rig.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's acting as a journalist, and they did not send him to jail, but they gave him several months suspended sentence and kind of house arrest for a very long time. I mean, they had him pulling his string for a couple of years there, and he was thinking that he was going to go to jail, but there was absolutely no reason for them to do any of that stuff.
And see what he did to the Proud Boys, and it's like what they made them into, and all the racism. Look at the main person; he's not even white. Hello. And it's like it was a shit show, and it's amazing how they can prosecute patriots and people on the opposite side and the opposition, but they can let the Antifa and BLM and the Alphabet Mafia destroy cities nationwide for how long?
Mm-hmm.
And how many of them are getting punished or in jail? They got plenty of footage and face recognition to know who did most of that. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what this country's come, and
It's very concerning to see the double standard, to see excessive punishment, and all the rest of this stuff, because these are all aspects of it, really are. And I feel very sorry for the people that were there. I mean, one of the big issues with me was I kept telling people, don't go. I got fired because I was telling people, don't go. The guy I was working for was, running a big financial thing off of it, and I was telling people, don't go. It's a grift. It's going to be a trap, and they're going to use this not only against you, but against the entire conservative movement. And that's exactly what they did.
Oh, yeah. So. And it's sickening, and I'm scared to see what's going to happen in the upcoming election.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's they're already initiating mail-in ballots. They're already trying to, get the COVID energy back up and get the masks that do absolutely jack shit going. And
isn't it amazing
the same playbook?
Isn't it amazing that they've left the vote by mail stuff in? I call it the mail out ballot election. I think it's amazing that they left that in. When everybody was talking about election corruption, I said, wait a minute. I've been in this for 35 years. I've been involved in this. Third parties. I was involved with the Libertarian Party in North Carolina. And I said, the rigging of the election begins with who gets on the ballot and who gets into the debates. And then it just keeps getting worse. You got so many different levels of this, and everybody's focused on one or two voting machine companies. It's like this whole thing is so rigged. And just take a look at what's happening now. Neither Trump nor Biden wants to do any debates. And so, and you have this, so you got RFK Jr. is going to run as an independent now. I don't know if he's going to be able to get on the ballot. That's a big task, getting on the ballot. They have really rigged that.
Hope he don't even remotely get close, because I couldn't stand hearing his voice for 4 years. He sounds like a speak and spell on crack. And there's no way I can deal with that. I couldn't deal with it.
I tell you, every one of these people, it doesn't matter who they are, which party they are, after 4 years, they all have a really grating voice, don't they? I mean, it's like the guest that will not leave, after about a year or so, they start to smell like a rotten fish.
Oh, yeah. Demons. And it'll take long for them to onboarding for the evil to occur.
I'm trying to figure out a creative way to segue into our topic, which is cannibalism. I think we've gone swerved off to the right a little bit, but
sure.
I guess you've done a lot on UFOs and everything else. You had to have heard your fair share of cannibalism stories, famous and maybe not so famous. You got any good ones for us?
Me? Well, I don't know. I mean, my cannibalism story, I guess, is more than once, and I think we're not the only people who do that. We go into, book at a restaurant, book a table. They ask for a name. You tell them Donner. So, so then they announce, Donner party of 4, and it's like, what's us? We're starving.
That would be great. Oh, I bet the faces when that happens.
Well, how many people would actually get it?
That's it. A lot of people don't. Probably
a lot of the older people and gentlemen, I'm sure.
If you did it in Nevada or Northern California, I think they might get it. If you did it down here in Florida, they'd be like, okay, what do you want?
California don't even know what genital organ is underneath their underwear. And they ain't gonna know what the hell the Donner Party is. They don't think it's just a mountain or something. Oh, don't Donner us up in the mountains. We go by the lake up there and go skiing. That's all they're gonna know.
We do have a story about that area of our family. We had a last minute vacation that we booked around Thanksgiving. I forget what year it was, but our boys are still pretty young. And so we went up to the Tahoe area, the Reno area and everything, where the Donner Party thing is. And we had a great time. There was some snow up there. We took them on snowmobiles, and they were so small, we just put them in front of us. And then we left, and it was just before Thanksgiving. And they had a massive snowstorm that hit. People died. It was such a massive snowstorm. We would have been stuck there for another week if we hadn't got out of there. So they still have that kind of weather that comes by there every once in a while. But it was really cool. We really enjoyed it. I especially enjoyed it because it was like being on a movie set in the sense that I had watched all these years growing up. I had watched Bonanza, and they filmed it up there. And they actually did
Yeah,
have like a
yeah.
Ponderosa
That's
thing
right.
there for a while that the stars were involved with. But even without that, just looking around at the terrain, it was like, wow, it's so familiar, you know, and I'd never been here before.
Yeah,
I
isn't
used to
Lake Tahoe
work.
beautiful?
Yeah.
I used to work in Sacramento and Rockland, California, and then I'd have to go over to Sparks, Nevada, to an office that the company I was working for at there. And in the wintertime, you always have to chain up, which means luckily there's guys on either side that if you can pay $20 to put the chains on and another $10 to take them off on the other side. Because I actually stopped to try to get a cell signal right at the top of Donner Summit in the middle of storm and snow and all that.
Wow.
I've never felt cold like that before. He got out of the car, got right back in the car. I don't care about the phone call anymore. Just got to get the hell out off that mountain.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing there, isn't it?
It's there's a story. I'm sure you're familiar with John Sutter, the Sutter's Fort in Sacramento.
No.
The Sutters. Yeah.
He's the founder of modern day Sacramento. He was a Dutch settler that came over and started a fort that's still there. People can go to this day and visit it. They do all the time. But there was a party, not the Donner Party, but another party that was coming across Immigrant Gap and across the summit, and they got stranded. And word had gotten to Sacramento to the fort there, and so he sent 2 scouts, Native American young men that had worked for him, and he sent them up to try to help these people and get them off the mountain. And they were gone for about 2 weeks, and the party eventually did make its way to Sutter's Fort. And he asked them what happened to the 2 guides that I sent up with you, along with the mules and everything else. And they're like, well, they got there and they helped us, and we were out of food, so we ate their mules, and then we ate them.
Wow.
And he started with their butt cheeks.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that back then that they didn't consider Native Americans even human or barely human kind of thing. So when they had to decide who they were going to eat first, it definitely wasn't going to be a fellow white man. It was going to be one of the natives. And that's not the only case of it. All the thing with like scalping, everybody, all the movies that we grew up with have the Native Americans doing the scalping. Fact is that it was the white people who did 99% of the scalping, so much so that there was a quote in the late 1800s that the walls of London are literally decorated with Native American scalps. It was like the biggest export we had was Native American scalps, and the people in England were buying them like crazy to decorate their homes with.
Wow.
It's creepy stuff. Not necessarily cannibalism, but a human trophy.
Yeah. Well, cannibalism, I guess another vacation story we have of cannibalism tangential to it. Karen and I went to New Zealand, and down there, the Maori were, of course, they ate Captain Cook. I guess they cooked Cook, unless they had him raw. I don't know. But they would...
Sushi.
Jeez.
Yeah, his first lieutenant was sushi. But anyway, they had a really, you look at the relationship that they had with the Maoris, and now you still see it. They were heavily into tattoos, and they do that dance, for the soccer players.
War dance, yeah.
They put out the war dance, and they stick their tongue out and that kind of thing. But they were really difficult for the British to handle. Because, and it wasn't really the cannibalism aspect of it, but it was the fact that they had earthen forts, and the bombardments didn't really help with that. You're there in North Carolina, Tully, and Fort Fisher that's on the coast. They had, prior to World War I, it took World War I to get beyond the amount of bombardment that they did against Fort Fisher during the Civil War, and were not able to take it out because it's an earthen fort. If you got a fort that's built out of stone and other things like that, you can take it down with artillery. But if it's an earthen fort, it just, you can hit it with everything. It doesn't go down.
Yeah.
So they had a hard time with their forts, and then when they got in close contact, the Maori were smart enough they could figure out how to use the weapons that they captured back against the British as well. So it is kind of interesting. Most of the people there in New Zealand are very proud to trace their heritage back to the Maori in some way or shape. Yeah.
Have you seen the tattooed heads that they have on display there?
Yeah.
Those are highly collectible too. They still do the face tattoos to this day, but I guess apparently the Europeans like collecting mummies. They were collecting those heads, and now they want them all returned. And which
it's gotten interesting.
In some way, it's understandable, but in another way, from like a science, you know, an archaeological point of view, I think sometimes things like that do belong in museums. There's a lot of archaeological digs here in the United States that have been stopped and not permitted to go any further. Bodies that have been returned to the earth, no study at all even allowed because they're considered sacred. In fact, I've heard you can't even dig for, like my great grandfather used to dig for arrowheads and things like that. That's all illegal now.
Really?
Well, it's too bad, Indiana Jones.
I mean, suppose you left King Tut's tomb completely undiscovered, then we wouldn't know just how incredibly, you know, powerful or rich, you know, at least in gold, that the pharaohs were. And he was a small pharaoh, you know, historically speaking. So I don't know. I think the whole idea of honoring the dead and honoring these bodies, I know it's very cultural and it's different to different, you know, cultures, but I think, you know, from a scientific point of view, I think it's not only stupid, but it kind of hurts the quest for knowledge.
Well, we live in a society that doesn't really want a quest for knowledge anymore, right? We want to dumb everything down, and everybody's afraid that somebody's feelings are going to get hurt. So
you're so right about that.
Yeah.
Well, we're 30 minutes in, so it's time to go ahead and go to the round table with Paul Dale Roberts. David Knight, go ahead and join us, and we're going to further the cannibalism discussion, and we got a little video about it, and have a little fun with everybody, and we'll roll into the second half hour. And we'll be right back.
Welcome to the round table with Paul Dale Roberts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Dale Roberts.
Hey, David Knight. Welcome to the round table. Okay, I got a real night here. Hey, I just have to let you know, and I've already told this story 100 times, so I'll just keep down short. But I was a 97 Bravo intelligence analyst in the U.S. Army, and over in Korea, I discovered that military intelligence was studying UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call them, when 6 photographs came in, and there were different type of UFOs, and it was taken by our reconnaissance satellites and reconnaissance aircraft. So military intelligence was recognizing this phenomenon, and when I was there, I saw those photographs, gave it a number, and gave it to the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency. So, yeah. I think it's getting very close to disclosure, and plus you have all these private companies and everything else, Elon Musk and everything else, when they're sending their vehicles out in the outer space, and when they land on the moon, when they see some artificial structures, the word's going to be out. So I think the government realizes, with all these private corporations and everything else in China, Russia, probably sending something out to Mars and everything else, the word is going to go out that we're not alone. Okay. Okay. Okay, well, let me introduce everybody on the round table. I got Lady Amy Miller. I got Leatherface, the Xecutiona, El Guapo, Tristan Macy, Purple Sticky, David Knight, the real Knight, and Terry the Taint Butt Pirate. So, and our, okay, and I guess there's some kind of video coming up. Okay.
Okay, so according to the Wheel of Doom, tonight's subject is cannibalism. Y'all know when crazy weird people decide they want to eat your rear end, and not in a good way. Cannibalism isn't taboo in many countries, it's what's for dinner. That's why you should just stay where you belong and don't go anywhere where you will just end up getting served as a dish, tonight on the round table.
All right, take it away, Paul. We're back.
All right. Well, before we go through the round table, I want to just mention the Donner Party. I did an investigation of it because they saw a phantom caravan, and they believed that was the Donner Party. So I was there at the site. Michael Rockefeller, there was some headhunting and cannibalism by the natives.
Whoa.
Where he was at New Guinea, and supposedly Michael Rockefeller was eaten by cannibals. So I talked to El Guapo, and he has something about kissing cannibals. So I'm going to let El Guapo take it away on those kissing cannibals.
Let's hear this one.
They say kissing is a throwback to cannibalism. The very act of kissing, the whole history of it is a throwback to when we actually ate each other type thing. Some cultures, kissing was just, like strictly forbidden. Not every culture kisses. And the whole thing about Eskimo kisses with the nose thing, that's actually New Zealand, the Maori, which our guest was talking about earlier. But like in Thailand, for example, even to this day, kissing really isn't a big thing amongst the Thai people. And for a while, it was considered forbidden, like kissing, like cannibalism, rather. The other thing I thought was interesting along the lines of Michael Rockefeller and the people of Papua New Guinea is that there's a disease called the Kuru disease that was passed on strictly from cannibalism, because in their culture, they didn't just go out and hunt people to eat. They would actually eat their own family relatives who have died. But the only people who ate those relatives were women. The men would never eat them, and the men and women lived separately. So this Kuru disease was found to only be within women or children up to about 8 years old. And when they started to actually do studies to figure out what was causing it, first they thought it was genetics. Then eventually it came down to a protein, a twisted protein that was carried over from the dead bodies. And the reason why only women and children were getting it is because the children up until about 8 or 10 years old would stay with the mother. And the women were the ones who would eat the dead because they were the ones who were considered powerful enough to contain a malignant spirit. And by eating the flesh, they would do it. And the reason why they wanted to eat the flesh was because they thought it was a more respectful thing to do than put your family member into the ground where worms could eat them, or put them above the ground where birds or other animals could eat them. So by eating them themselves, there was a way to respect the dead. Unfortunately, this disease started getting passed around, and I think the last confirmed case was somewhere in the early 2000s.
Let me eat your AIDS. Come here.
Someone found it, but yeah, lots of interesting stuff with cannibalism.
Well, that's interesting. I thought Eskimos don't really do Eskimo kisses because their snot will freeze together.
Yeah,
that's what I was asking. Buddy told me.
And you were mentioning Thailand. Well, this is me in Thailand. And I heard a cannibal story while I was there. The cannibal story was this family was so poor and hungry they ate their dogs. Then they ate some rats, and then they ate their 2 children. So
that escalated quickly. We're gonna eat the dogs, we're gonna eat the rats, and we're just gonna go right for the children.
Has anybody heard of Rick Gibson? A guy named Rick Gibson. He's a performance artist from the UK. And in 1988, he ate someone's tonsils who were donated, part of a performance art thing. And then a year later, in 1989, he ate somebody's testicle.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
And he's not the only one to do it. There's some other person, I can't think of the name now, who actually had a portion of their stomach wall or flesh around their stomach surgically removed and then cooked it up on television and actually ate their own flesh. So it's a publicity stunt. But he's
what was up with that guy who put an ad on ad on like Craigslist, and they're trying to find someone to be a victim to him, and some
The
guy
German.
happily accepted.
The
What was
German,
that?
yeah, he did time for that. He went to jail for it. Somebody did volunteer, and they met, and they actually, and he ended up cutting the other man's penis off and then cooking it. Apparently, it was terrible. Wasn't good at all. But there is a guy.
Kind of gamey.
No, said it was like apparently with just like with beef, you can't just like kill a cow and start eating it. I mean, you could like the lions do, but it's really not good that way. You want to do is you want to age beef.
So if you cut off someone's penis and you cook it and you eat it, does that make you gay?
I don't know. Maybe just hungry.
I had to ask that. I'm curious. I mean, you're eating it for, whatever reason you're eating it for. But is it that wouldn't be homosexual, would it? If you were just eating a penis for real,
I mean, if it's a matter of starvation, it's just survival, right?
Huh. That's really a questionable one there. Dave was probably just like, "Oh my God, what did I just come on?"
In South America, the word that they use for human flesh is long pig, because apparently, like they think the closest meat comparison to human flesh is pig. So human they call long pig before they can consume it. Wow. But there was a guy, a journalist named William Seabrook, who is pretty famous. He died in 1945, but he was famous for eating human flesh, and he compared the meat to veal. He said the closest possible meat to human flesh is veal, and apparently he really liked it. Had a great description of how tasty human flesh.
Oh my God! Did you see Hannibal Lecter? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that cooking show, to where they were cooking stuff and people had to guess what it was, and he gave it 3 options. It was this, or human flesh, and they was kind of laughing. And it ended up being human flesh that he was cooking with. So everybody actually ate human flesh on the show.
Is this a movie or a real show?
No, it was a real reality cooking show.
Fear Factor from hell, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and they're like, okay, so what was it? He's all, it was human, and he's always, no problem. Let's keep cooking some more. And they're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Did everybody start throwing up or what?
One chick put a napkin in her mouth and ran away, and the other guy was sitting there shaking his head, and they weren't too happy about it. But it's kind of disgusting.
I think Terry the Taint Butt Pirate has a cannibal story. Terry, you want to take it away?
Oh no. Go ahead, Terry. Terry.
I don't think Terry can hear us.
Oh,
I think I muted him earlier.
Okay, how about Kristen Macy?
I don't have a story about this shit. This is disgusting.
Oh, you love it. I want to hear complaints.
Have you heard about that incident that happened on the Greyhound bus a few years back where the guy ended up beheading?
Yeah, in Canada. That guy, they said he was a Wendigo, and he cut off the guy's head, was eating his heart on the bus. All the people on the bus were just puking every place. Yeah, that was crazy.
And nobody stopped it. This is how fucked up Canada is with their fucking law enforcement. Is they figured the guy was already dead, so they didn't bother trying to storm the bus or shooting this piece of shit who was just completely this poor innocent kid. He was like 18 years old, traveling home to see his parents on holiday, and this crazy piece of shit killed him, like you said, cut his head off, started eating him on the bus. Everybody obviously runs off of the bus. They shut the bus door, and the cops are watching it happen through the window, and they figure, well, he's dead already. There's nothing we can do. They let the guy.
And he's a free man. He's a free man now.
You're
He's
absolutely
walking
right.
the streets. Yeah.
I think Terry was talking earlier about that case in Japan. There's a very famous Japanese cannibal. I don't know his name, but he was a student in France in, I think, the 1970s, and he actually murdered a female student that was in school with him at this art school, shot her with a .22, ate part of her body. They arrested him in France, another country that's way too light on crime, and they released him. They sent him back to Japan because they didn't want to deal with him. Well, Japan is so screwed up that they didn't prosecute him at all, and this son of a bitch has been free for the past 30-something years, and not only that, he's a celebrity. They make comic books about this guy. People come up to the street and want selfies with this piece of shit.
Oh my God.
And any questions for David? He's there all
Right.
quiet, just taking in. He's like, oh, where am I? Where am I at?
What have I done? Where am I?
I've got something I can chip in here. You know, you're talking
right.
about diseases coming from cannibalism, and of course we know that cows. If you feed cows other cows, they get mad cow disease, and if humans eat that, they get Yakov-Creutzfeldt, I think is what it is. And I think maybe you get that if you engage in cannibalism. I guess maybe I don't know, but in a different direction, there was. I guess it was about a month or so ago. There was a study that came out looking at artificial intelligence, and as they noticed that artificial intelligence, as it's going out and it's constantly scanning and consuming whatever it can find on the internet, as it starts to consume its own product, stuff that is put out there by artificial intelligence, it starts getting in dumber and dumber and dumber. And so they said once you get up to a factor where about 80% of the content out there is generated by artificial intelligence, it's going to become uselessly stupid. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens. But they had some data that pointed exactly to that. So maybe the AI will die from cannibalism.
I'm definitely enjoying the AI stuff. I mean, I use the Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a lot of coding, like I said, building a Roku channel, and I'm really impressed with what AI can put out. I wish it would put out the truth if you asked it to it, but it's going to, of course, do what it's told. But I definitely see it going to no good down the road for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
I
going
was
to
just
be a big
impressed.
tool of surveillance. It really is. But yeah, who knows if it gets to, if the main thing is the military and the government, the police state take it over. Maybe our best hope is going to be that it just degenerates from consuming its own garbage.
Okay, let's go to Amy Miller. Amy, do you have any cannibal story? Have you dated any cannibals or anything?
No. The only one I really knew about was the Donner story, but I was looking I was looking for something like that, just looking stuff up. And it was talking about tribes, how certain tribes were into cannibalism and stuff like that. But no, I don't know a lot about cannibalism.
No.
About Jeffrey
Well,
Dahmer.
have you ever heard of Sonny Bean?
Sonny what?
Sonny Bean?
No.
No? Okay, well, he had a 45-member Scottish clan. And this Scottish clan, they killed 1,000 people and ate them during 25 years. And this happened in the 16th century, and the movie The Hills Have Eyes is based on that. And also, too, Neil Gaiman's American Gods, when Shadow went to Scotland, is also based on that. So they were some very famous cannibals, and they were finally caught and executed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Executioner, do you have any good cannibal stories?
Hear us, X?
Oh. Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you. Hold on.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me?
We hear
All
you.
right. I have a question. All right. I remember a few years back where. All right. Thank you. A few years back, I remember somebody went to an island and there was a bunch of cannibals.
Yes.
And
Yes,
the guy had a camera. I think it was two of them.
Michael Rockefeller. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
Yeah, that was head hunting and cannibalism by the natives, and that was in New Guinea.
Now, Paul, X might be talking about another story that happened in an island off of India just a few years ago, where this kid actually paid fishermen to bring him to this area.
Oh, that one. Yeah, he was an idiot.
Yep, that one.
Yeah, and so when they tell you it's forbidden to go to a certain place because the natives are not friendly, maybe listen to the warning and don't think that like a touchy-feely bullshit's gonna, like you have special powers. I'm gonna love them and they won't eat me.
We're going to give them a bunch of fruit and food and stuff, and they're going to be happy and take it from you, then they're going to eat you.
Hey, when I go to a restaurant, instead of saying that my family's the Donner Party, I'm going to just say my name's Albert Fish, and this is my friend Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jesus Christ. Albert Fish was a monster. Now,
That'll go over
Dahmer
well.
was bad, but Albert Fish ate children. He was disgusting.
Yeah, it was disgusting. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
horrific. I can't even read about that guy. He's so bad. Dahmer, on the other hand, I think is kind of fascinating because besides keeping, human trophies and eating some of his victims, he served up the meat to his neighbors and made them sandwiches.
Oh, jeez. And I want to ask the whole round table. Okay, there was a plane crash in the Andes Mountains, and the survivors ate the dead. Is this something that is okay to eat the dead if you want to survive? Would you do it?
Unless you're Catholic.
I mean, if there's some rice and some teriyaki, I mean, come on.
Ketchup?
No, I don't like ketchup on
Not
just
with you,
fries.
would
And
you?
that's a maybe.
Paul, were you talking about that one about the soccer team?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that right there, man.
What was the name of that movie?
Survive or alive? Was it alive?
Oh, okay.
Alive.
There's another one out. I think a Showtime series called Yellow Jackets, where they take the same premise, only it's a girls' soccer team that from New Jersey that gets stranded somewhere in the mountains. And, yeah.
How about Alfred Packer? This is an American prospector back in 1874, and he had a 6-man party. He was the only survivor, and when he got to the village, his cheeks were rosy because he ate so good. He ate the whole party.
Is that the Mad Trapper? Was he the Mad?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they made a good movie with Charles Bronson about that guy.
So.
Oh my.
Well, guys, getting close to 4 minutes until we're done here, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. David Knight, man, I'm so glad to see you again. You're definitely a sight for sore eyes. I mean, I've been kind of, quiet to myself out here in the country for 3 years, just keeping out, not even leaving the house. And it's definitely good to see familiar faces. And your son's awesome. I've been watching him for a while, and he's looking out for his pops, man.
Yeah, he is. He's been a real blessing, really.
So you still doing the David Knight show, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you want to tell everybody where they can watch that and the times and everything?
Sure. TheDavidKnightShow.com is the website, and it's got all the different places where we put the show out. And it's in video format as well as podcast. And since it's a long show, we do video cuts as well. It goes for 3 hours, Monday through Friday, 9 in the morning Eastern time, 9 to noon. And it's a podcast. I'll take a couple of breaks during the podcast, 1 or 2 minutes, but pretty much go the whole 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
we'll see a real David Knight show here on the Off the Hook TV, Off the Hook Network on Roku here soon.
Maybe, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, it is. It's a lot more content. Like I was telling people the other day, it's now 50% more than it used to be from the David Knight show when I was on radio. Because with that time clock, you only have about 2 hours worth of content in a 3-hour show. So this got a whole 3 hours
of commercials and
yeah. It lets us cover a lot of things, though.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out. We're going to go ahead and head to our second break and see David out, and we'll be back with the Wheel of Doom to see what the topic next week is going to be.
Thank you, Telly.
All right, David. See you soon, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Not everything is as it seems on the surface, as this family's about to find out.
Are we there yet? Mom, Timmy's pulling my hair.
Timmy, stop it.
Are we there yet? I gotta use the bathroom. Me too.
Well, kids, I told you to go potty back at the house.
Oh, look, honey, we can pull over in a couple miles and let them pee in Uranus.
Yeah, Dad, I want to pee in Uranus. I want to pee in Uranus too, Dad.
Look, honey, the billboard says Uranus is only a couple miles away.
Look, it says the best fudge comes from Uranus.
That sounds delicious. I sure hope they pack my fudge better than your dad does.
Well, I'm sure we'll all learn a few things in Uranus.
I want to try all the fudge in Uranus. I hope they have mint fudge in Uranus.
I'm so excited to be in Uranus with the kids.
And I can't wait to pull into Uranus. I want to be in Uranus.
Fudge, yeah!
If you live too far away to let your family pee in your anus, don't worry. You can order your fudge online at www.uranusgeneralstore.com. I'm gonna go pee in your anus right now.
Fudge, yeah! What the fudge you waiting for? Stop prairie dogging and pull the trigger. Go to Uranus General Store.
Fudge Factory commercial. Pretty good show tonight, man. I had fun. What about you?
I want to do a 3-hour show, man. I think this shit goes too fast.
It does. We're gonna raise it up here pretty soon.
We could do 3 hours standing on our head, especially with a topic like this. I mean, I made notes and everything. There's so much more to go over just on this one, morbid topic.
Oh yeah. Well, well, coming up here soon, October, we have Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
Oh boy.
We'll be calling in, and we'll be doing a little expose on the stuff for the man himself.
An expose.
We also have DJ Mr. Mix of the Two Life Crew will be coming on as well, and some other guests. We're kind of we're gonna be slowing down here for a couple of weeks so I can assist with getting the channel finished off and all of our branding and everything done, and we're gonna be back with vengeance. So I'm gonna be saving some of these guests and some of these cool things for the television when we make that leap.
Man,
let's go ahead and go into the Wheel of Doom.
All right.
Hold on a second.
Man, we can keep doing it. We don't have to slow down.
Wheel of Doom. You may spin the wheel.
What's that?
We don't have to slow down.
What'd you say?
We don't have to slow down. We can keep doing this shit.
All right. Well, what Phil said.
We'll do 3 hours.
Never slow down. No sleep. No. Yeah.
All gas, no brakes.
Shit. Yeah, it's been fun learning the scripting and everything. So
I got my hat's off to you for that, because that is a lot of shit to learn, and to be honest with you, it's the type of stuff that puts me to sleep sometimes. So,
I did it in a week. I did it 1 week.
That's awesome.
I used to build web pages like 15, 20 years ago, but I mean, as far as JavaScript and everything else, that's something I'm not, I've dabbled in, but nothing like I've had to been doing this past week and a half. But it's coming along great.
You did a great job. Thank you very much for doing all that yourself.
Oh yeah. So it's got to get done. It's going to get done. Thank you, Paul. All right, let's go ahead and let's spin that wheel.
Spin it.
Next week's topic. What's it going to be? Zombies.
Right on. We can do 3 hours on zombies.
Yeah, you can see around exorcism, shapeshifters. What else we got? We already did vampires.
That's a good
Zombies
point.
and animals.
Paul's got a good point about that. Cannibal zombies.
Cannibal zombies. Well, that'd be going good for next week then here. So.
Can our audience hear Paul right now?
They can't hear you. They can't hear you, Paul. Only we can hear you.
Well, for the audience, Paul was just bringing up a lot of things that we didn't get to talk about tonight.
Some of the movies.
Tomahawk was one of them, which is a pretty cool movie if you like those kind of movies.
Cannibal Apocalypse.
Yes.
There'll be a lot of cannibal movies we'll be uploading and sharing
Green
the Rocket channel as
Inferno.
well. Green Inferno. That was just kind of gross. I mean, Cannibal Apocalypse was kind of, they killed real animals in it and skinned them up and ate them right there on the, it was a little more, it was real, you know what I'm saying, to a certain point. But
That's not cannibalism, though. If you're just that's just hunting.
Oh no, there's cannibalism, and I'm just saying that they didn't use like fake turtles and cutting up fake stuff. They cut up the real deal right there on camera.
Yeah,
it was nasty. You gotta see it. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a long week, but man, definitely a good show. It's awesome having David Knight on.
Well, I'm wondering if kissing is considered, at its root, a form of cannibalism, in its early form, then, what's eating pussy considered?
I don't know. What about bumping clams?
Scissors.
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 It's cannibalism. Next week on the Sanitarium. Scissors. Scissoring.
We can do 3 hours on that.
Hey, Paul, we can't hear you. What's up? I can hear you. Oh shit. Okay. Well, Paul's seeing is next Saturday is our live ghost hunt here in the Sanitarium. We'll be remotely live through Paul Dale Roberts' paranormal company. We'll be doing live UFO and paranormal hunt.
So maybe we should put off the zombies till the week after that, since we're doing the live feed next week.
Well, we don't have to. I mean, it's still California. They're pretty much zombies.
Yeah.